George Lutz, founder of Honor and Remember, is here with us now. And you'll see the signage out there. You'll see pins. You'll see the tires. You'll see flags everywhere. George, I know you were here last year to talk about Honor and Remember as well. And you shared the story of how this all came about. Your son, Tony, and when you found out that he had lost his life. Just take me back and explain to me what prompted you and what that moment was like to kind of start this and to honor and remember all the fallen.
Well, thanks, Shannon. It's really an honor to be here. You know, every Gold Star family member has to go through that initial knock on the door, right? And when you have two uniformed officers who bring those 5 very simple words, "We regret to inform you." I mean, what that does to a family is devastating. I mean, it's beyond words. And for me, I didn't know what I wanted to do next and how I was going to react and whether I even wanted to live or not. I mean, there's just so many emotions you go through. But fast forward, one of the things that I realized in going through this grieving process was in meeting other families and hearing their stories and sharing their grief and realizing that the one thing that they want more than anything is that their loved one not be forgotten. If you could give them remembrance, it is the thing that they could hold on to, because now you know they'll be grieving the rest of their lives. Yeah. And so I thought, well, what does that look like? What does remembrance look like? Because individually we all do something different, right? But yet some don't do anything. And from generations, how can you collectively send a message to them all? So I thought, why not create a symbol? Create something by which we can all, as patriotic Americans, display, fly, and show in recognition of this loss, and say to those families collectively, we haven't forgotten. And here's our message to you. Thank you for that sacrifice.
So as I was getting ready to chat with you today, I just thought it would be really important because of that message right there to always remember. I want you to tell me about Tony. Tell me about your son.
Yeah, Tony was an amazing man. He was 25 years old. He was in the Army. He was married and had 2 children. At that time, his children were 3 years old and 3 months old. And he was a really sales kind of gregarious person. He would walk into a room and know your name when he left. I mean, he was just that friendly. He would disarm you, you know, in his personality. And when he went into the Army, he wanted one specific job. He wanted a job called psychological operations. That's the only job he wanted, because that job is to convince the enemy to surrender. That's the job. And you do it through broadcasts, you do it through leaflets, you do it through, you know, methods like that. So he wasn't engaged in active, like, you know, combat type, but he was engaged in winning the mind, so to speak. And so he was that type of person. We talked about cross country. He was a cross country runner. He ran cross country from when he was 11 years old, you know, all the way up through college, and he was the star PT guy in the Army. Everybody said, "Slow down, Tony, slow down."
He was thrown off the curve, huh?
Very, very athletic. So tremendous, tremendous individual. Miss him very, very much.
I can only imagine. I know that you penned a letter, an open letter, to everybody that was with Tony that day, right? You asked his brothers out there, when they were done, to call you, to give you stories about what Tony meant to them and maybe what that day meant to them. What kind of responses did you get from some of his brothers out there?
Well, the interesting thing is that Tony was so engaging, you know, with everybody, that they always remember him with that big smile on his face and that engaging personality, and are so grateful to have known him, of course. And one thing that he said to me last, he penned me a letter, if you will. Back then in 2005, we had AOL Instant Messenger.
You had to dial up. Yeah.
So he dialed up one morning. It was his birthday, 2 weeks before he was killed. But he dialed up and he said, he said, "My job changed, Dad. I'm now in the turret, you know, of the Humvee, you know." And I went, "Doesn't that make you a target?" And he said, "You know, God is my shield." I mean, that was his words to me. Dad, God is my shield. And what can you say about that, right? You just have to go, "Man, be careful. I love you, and hope to see you soon." Right? He was an amazing man, like they all are, Shannon. I mean, these men and women who give of themselves and sign that blank check, there's nothing more you can say except admiration.
Yeah, heroes. Thank you for sharing that, by the way, and of course for your sacrifice. This weekend, right, we're going to see Honor and Remember. We're going to see it everywhere at the Nascar track. We're going to see it on tires. We're going to see. Just walk me through some of the things that we will see to honor and remember the fallen.
Yeah, absolutely. So In 2008, we unveiled the Honor and Remember flag to become our national expression of appreciation, right, for our men and women, so that we all have a way to say thank you. Well, through the partnership with Nascar, with Coke, with Charlotte Motor Speedway, with Fox Sports, with Goodyear, I can go on, Sunoco, Toyota, everyone individually have said, you know, we all want to do something, but now, through Honor and Remember, collectively, we can send the same message.
Well, show me the flag. Let me see this flag. And I see you also have Tony's dog tags on. I think
do.
Those are beautiful. This is the flag. Here, I'll help you hold it up. And so this will also be, we'll see the tires, we'll see these flags out there, and you guys will have a really large flag that'll be opened at some point during the race.
At the moment of silence, they're going to stop the race for the first time. They're going to stop the, not this year, but they started this a few years ago, stop the race mid-race, and have a 30-second moment of silence and unfurl a 1,200 square foot Honor and Remember flag. The tires will be branded Honor and Remember. The officials will be branded Honor and Remember. Fox Sports will be branded Honor and Remember. I think they're using the flag as a checkered flag at the finish. The names will be on the cars of 40 heroes this year. It'll be a tremendous effort because, you know, Shannon, we can remember a few, right, individually, but collectively, we can remember them all.
Yeah.
We have 40 names on a car, but there's 40,000 families out there who don't get that recognition. They will get this recognition here.
Beautiful. It's beautiful what you're doing, and certainly Tony and everyone else that we're remembering. I mentioned to you that military runs strong in my family, so this is obviously for every military family. Thank you. This is the flag. This is what you'll see out there this weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Thank you very much.
Right.